hello, and I prepare another good one for you. And this another one of Latinos for Trump, and things are happening lately. We have a lot of things that are happening that I'm gonna be explaining to you in this video, so please don't forget giving a like. Just drop a like down there. Subscribe and activate the notification bell, that way you don't miss any of these videos. Okay, this one is really interesting. Of course, we're just gonna have to start with our music, okay, that is coming in a minute. And then this is the thing, okay, Latinos wanted to be white. They wanted to be white, and they cannot be white, so they voted against their own self-interest, because in these countries a lot of Latinos, they have mixed status. Like, for example, maybe the mom is an American citizen and then the dad is a resident, or one of the nieces, nephews, they are illegal. So when it's something that happened to be with immigration, it affects the whole family in the end. So stay towards the end, because this video is really interesting, and I'm gonna be giving you my commentaries on the video. And I just wanted to say thank you, because some people have been sending me donations, so I wasn't expecting that, but thank you for the ones that been doing it. You know, I know who you guys are, and thank you. Okay, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your Cash App, your Venmo. I just really appreciate it. Okay, let's keep watching towards the end.
Loaded into this bus here right behind me. After immigration court, we're learning it was a family of 4 from Cuba, a man, his wife, and their 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Their attorney says they've been here to prior hearings, immigration hearings, and they were informed this morning that it was a real possibility of being deported.
Outside immigration court, among those detained, a Cuban man who was meeting with an attorney.
My son had an appointment with an attorney, and they took him without any explanation.
You are basically driving a dagger into the heart of the entire community, because these are mixed status families.
A mother distraught after her 21-year-old son was taken away by ICE. She says he came to the U.S. from Cuba 9 months ago.
When he got out of the car, they called him by his name, and they were there waiting for him.
They could have to remain detained for the entirety of those proceedings, and for expedited removal, they will have to be in detention.
They went to their hearing today. Their asylum case was dismissed. After that, they were promptly led away by federal law officers onto the bus.
Latinos, you can scream MAGA all you want, vote red, only speak English, even call ICE yourself, but you will never be the exception. You will never be white, and it's not going to stop you from getting racially profiled. Who said that? Who said that?
No, it's not funny. It's really not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just very ironic and crazy how can I say this? Throughout the election, I saw so many Cubans, Venezuelan, a bunch of Latinos saying with their whole chest, not voting for Kamala. There was this guy even that he was getting harassed by his neighbor that didn't even want him around, but he carried his Trump flag, you know, proud to vote for Trump. But I just wanted to come out here and let them know and ask if they have seen Trump's plan. Have they seen who Trump have elected to run the immigration and his plan for the mass deportation? He has elected the 2 most anti-immigrant that he could possibly find. And did you see that he has announced that he's gonna cancel the CBP 1 and the humanitarian parole? Do you know who that affects? Do you know who that affects? Do you know where he's planning on sending you coming January? He actually even warned you guys to pack your bag and save him the time and save you for humiliation. I don't know if you guys are following everything that's happening. I mean, I would hope you'll be following, because that affects you directly. But what bothers me is the fact that you truly did not believe that Trump would carry his plan. You did not. And that blows my mind. It makes absolutely no sense for you guys to sit and say, oh, afraid of socialist dictator, and you turned around and voted for one. Anyway, good morning.
And she say something that is important. She say Latinos and Venezuelans didn't wanted to vote for Kamala because they think Democrats are socialist. But they don't know that Donald Trump is a dictator. I actually follow a TikToker that he compares Chavez, okay, the dictator in Venezuela. He compares Fidel, the things that Fidel used to say, and he compares also the things that Donald Trump say. And he just say like, okay, who say these things? And then people would think, oh, that was Fidel. No, it was Chavez. And who say these things? These things were maybe Chavez. No, and it was Donald Trump, because the dictators they have a same pattern of behavior, so they behave the same in the same way all the time. Okay, they just say the same things because it's a program, so you have to like pre-program people for they can just follow a dictatorship, and he's just way his way to mess up the country. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that we can just save the republic, but at this point I don't even know if we can save the republic at this point. I hope that something happens really soon and we can save the republic. The Supreme Court can act and do or say something, or the military can do or say something. I don't know what's gonna happen, but definitely we need to save the republic. And let's see what else is happening to the Latinos. Okay, let's see what else.
I want you to hear what I'm saying. This is not fear-mongering. It is to increase awareness. I'm going to talk about three things really quickly. One, the Supreme Court just ruled that the president can have ICE agents deport individuals to countries that are not their homeland. Understand what that means. To deport someone to a country that is not their homeland. Do you understand how, one, inhumane that is, but two, how dangerously irresponsible that is? That's number one. Number two, a lot of y'all keep asking, how is it that he's able to get away with a lot of this stuff? That the president and this administration is able to continue doing these things that seem to be illegal and getting away with it. Understand the Supreme Court ruled in the case of immunity that the president has immunity from any actions taken while in office as long as they're deemed under the presidential capacity. So every time we got on here was saying how important the Supreme Court was, how powerful the Supreme Court is, and how they can augment the power of the president. This is what we're referring to, because now, which brings me to number three, there are only certain avenues that can be taken to limit the president's power, and we look to Congress for that. In Congress, we just had a vote where 128 Democrats voted against impeachment, many of whom were very public and vocal and loud about their disdain towards this administration, many of whom have used their platforms to discuss how they do not agree with this administration, but for some reason, 128 Democrats voted not to impeach, which calls into question yet again, are our politicians serving us? Are our politicians helping us? Are they listening to us? Or is it simply yet another talking point, another mouthpiece used to spew things during the campaign, or even while they're in office, to kind of rally up their constituents but do things against what their constituents are asking of them? We have to ask ourselves the real questions now.
You need to go with me. You need to go with me. Come on, let's go. Imagine someone walking up to you like this with a mask on. You don't know who they are. They don't identify themselves. And then all of a sudden you end up in the back of a car handcuffed. What is going on in America? That is not what we do here. We don't sit outside of courtrooms and wait for people like vultures so that we can arrest them and throw them in jail. We believe in due process. So stand up, everyone, and stop this bullshit.
All right.
And yes, it's really inhumane to deport people to the countries that are not the homeland. How they've been doing with Venezuelans, that they've been sending it to Salvador, to the jail in Salvador, because they only had tattoos. It's not even people that they have criminal records or anything. It's just if they have a big tattoo, they're gonna send them to El Salvador. And some people, they even got their cases approved, and ICE got it deport them, okay, just coming out of the court. And it have been talks. The Orange Buffon have been going to other countries, you know, like a third world countries in Africa, in Arab nations, okay. He's just going everywhere and asking them if they can habilitate their jails, for they can send other people, the enemy with them, okay. He just keeps saying, oh, we're just only missing the enemy with them for sent to all those jails. And he just been having conversations to all these presidents for they can habilitate those jails for US citizens, I guess, okay. I don't know, but they can go, they can send black people that is against the regime, or they can just send like gay people. We just don't know who they're gonna send there, but it's definitely he's just in conversations to see if he can send the enemy with them, okay. And it's just really inhumane what he's just planning to do, not only to Venezuelan citizens, but everybody. He's just planning to do it to everybody.
Hey, MAGA, get out there. Where are you at? You got your jobs back. You got your jobs that were taken from you. Get out there. Get out there and start working. Get to work. America first. Get out there. 100% haven't shown up to work due to immigration raids, Texas farmer says. America's migrant workers are terrified to work, but unable to stay home. So get out there, MAGA. You got these jobs back. You took them back. You voted. You got your guy in there to get rid of all of those migrant workers. So get out there. Get out there and start working. But for real, I want to shout out to the undocumented migrant workers, as they were deemed essential in 2020. They stepped up when this nation needed them most. They have my utmost respect. They should see a pathway to citizenship. Period. They were deemed essential workers, risking their lives in one of the most hazardous jobs in the entire U.S. labor market. They have my full respect. Thank you for your service and your contribution to this country.
And yes, I just wanted to talk also about this situation of undocumented people that work in the places where we produce the food for this country, okay. The undocumented people that work for the farms, okay, where they are unable to work because they just are afraid of the ICE raids that are happening right now. So this is gonna be affecting our food chain as it is right now. Well, I know someone told me in Arizona, the people, the undocumented workers that work for the farms, they've been working in the middle of the night, okay, so they can avoid ICE raids. Can you believe that? They work in nighttime now because they just want to avoid the ICE raid. So that's what they are doing, for they can avoid the ICE raid, because it seems like They do it with these rates, they do it in the daytime. So if they work from 3 a.m., they're working out from, I believe, for like 11 to 6 a.m. or something like that. It's less possibility that they can be raped by ICE. Can you believe that? And also the Texas farmers, they having all their fruit, all their products going bad because they don't have nobody to pick them up. Okay, this is a freaking mess. This is a freaking mess. And I just read on the news, so the director of the port in LA, that is the port in LA, is where we get almost the 70% of the things that we consume in this country. They say they still, even where the levels of or containers are really low still, even when we just have that crisis with the tariff, you know, the tariffs are coming, the tariffs are not coming, we still have a big problem with the level of movement of containers coming from China and other places that is just too low. So we're gonna have a big problem when it comes to Halloween and go back to school too, because that's where we need the most containers. Okay, they are coming from other countries to just buy backpacks. Okay, the backpacks come from China. Backpacks, pencils, some of the pencils come from China. Okay, we're just gonna have a big problem. And the costumes also for Halloween, they come from China too. So it's not enough movement on the port of LA for it can substantiate or support the months that are coming, that is the back to school and the Halloween time. So we're just gonna be confronting a crisis of items where things are gonna get really expensive. So if you have kids at school, so this is the perfect time to go ahead and buy those supplies if you can find it right now, because it's gonna get bad.
Friends, we are just now finding out what happened to a pregnant woman while in ICE custody. Friends, it is absolutely heartbreaking. Her name was Iris Diana Monterroso Limas, and please forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. She was arrested in Tennessee and was transferred to a private ICE detention center in Louisiana in early April. She was 4 to 5 months pregnant then, and for 3 whole days, she was in excruciating pain, screaming for help, begging for help. But ICE staff, what the fuck did they do? Nothing. Days later, on April 29th, 2025, Iris gave birth to a stillborn baby. She said the baby had been dead inside of her for days. And while she gave birth, she was fucking shackled. She was watched, no privacy, no dignity. Then ICE told her family that they had to pay to ship her baby's body back to Honduras. Just days later, they deported her. And here's the worst part. We are just now finding about this now, today, June 24th, 2025. 2 months later, the Nashville Banner was the only report that came out on May 27th. And today, we are just now getting the attention for it. You have to ask yourself, why wasn't this front page news? Why a pregnant woman even being held in detention in the first place? IDs deserve better. We demand answers, and we need to talk about this now.
So the Supreme Court just said that it's okay to deport immigrants to countries that are not their own. Basically meaning that the Supreme Court just legalized human trafficking. Is anyone gonna do anything about this?
Should we dress up as ICE agents and help escort people, immigrants that are at their court hearings or court proceedings and escort them home? I mean, it's easy to do. Who even knows if any of these ICE agents are even real ICE agents? We don't know. They don't show you their face. They don't show you anything. They don't show you any badge. They don't show you any ID. They don't have warrants from a judge. I mean, how hard would it be to impersonate an ICE agent? And who knows if these people that are snatching up people that are undocumented or even citizens, whether they're even truly ICE. You do not know that. But we could go and order the same clothes, order the same things, which maybe that's all what they've done. They're in unmarked cars. You don't even know they're an official car. You don't know any of these people are even legitimate. They may just be Proud Boys. They may just be a vigilante group. You don't know, but guess what? We could do the same thing, and you could escort people, give them a ride home, take them home, get them home safely, and you can make sure this is something that we could do to help people so that they are able to follow the law under the Constitution as they're doing, and Donald Trump and his team clearly are not. What do you think? Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cougars, and my burned out light bulbs. Am I cray-cray, or what do you think? I don't know. I've seen this idea batted around, and I think it's something we could think about.
Shit's getting weird. Part infinity. I was almost deported twice. It's true. Okay? But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court decision. Not even a decision, or their decision, basically. And it's not like a decision on the merits of the case. It's basically saying we're going to let the process play out, let the appellate court kind of do its thing. But until then, we're going to let Trump continue to deport immigrants to third countries, which is crazy, by the way. If you ask me, I think that's absolutely crazy. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, the time that I was deported, like, for example, I was living in another country for a while, and they wanted to deport me out of the country because my visa had expired. So I was in the country for like a cool minute without proper paperwork. So they were going to deport me. Imagine that country was like, we're going to send you to Czechoslovakia instead of the US. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? So what makes this any different? Isn't this is nuts if you ask me. And if you agree with this, you got to have booty hole crumbles because your decision making is questionable. Your booty hole crumbles are messing with your mind. Go wipe your ass. Comment in the comment section what you think about this. I think it's crazy, but I feel confident that the appellate court is going to be like, the fuck? I feel, but.
Yes, and I like how this guy put the situation in the other side. You know, if you're in another country and it happens that your visa got expired, or it happens that you are in the airport and they decide to deport you, like he said, you know, just they deport you instead of taking to your own country, to your country of birth, the country that you belong, that you have citizenship, they decide to deport you to any other country. Can you imagine how messed up that will be for you if you are a USA citizen and you are in another country and that country decide to deport you? But that's happening to other people. Okay, they are not deporting people to the country that they belong. They are deporting people to countries that they don't have no attachment to it. They are deporting people to countries that they don't even know anybody. Sometimes they know the language because of what happens to Venezuelans. They at least know the language, but you know that between the Spanish speaking countries, if each country speak the Spanish really different, and words can mean different things for different countries. And I like how he just said that compare, okay, what happened if it happens in the other side, you know, if you just maybe in Italy and they decide to deport you and you just go and they send you to Africa instead of sending you back to America.
Now imagine being born here, a US citizen, and one day you get pulled over and the officer tells you there's no record of you existing. That's exactly what happened to a man named Jacob on TikTok. He's third-generation American with Spanish ancestry, hence a Hispanic surname, and when police ran his ID, nothing came up. They thought it was fake, but the sergeant told him, and this is a quote, "You can thank ICE for that." Turns out ICE had deleted his records, and this isn't some isolated glitch. It fits a disturbing pattern. Back in April, ICE admitted to deleting the records of hundreds of international students from their federal database SEVIS. These students were suddenly considered out of status, risking arrest, deportation, and losing everything, even though they followed the rules. A federal judge had to step in and block ICE from enforcing those terminations. Even then, the agency refused to give a straight answer on whether the students were legally in the country. Despite having no evidence, they were removable. I'll drop Jacob's video in the comments, but this top comment says it best. She says, now imagine you're a brown person who is a citizen, who has had their info deleted, and you're detained by ICE, and now there's no way for you to prove to them before they deport you that you're a citizen. They're literally trying to erase brown people. This is bigger than a glitch. It's a warning. ICE is erasing digital records and creating a system where even citizens can be disappeared. We need to talk about this. Share Jacob's story. People need to know. The Supreme Court just gave Trump the green light to deport migrants to dangerous third countries, even if it puts them at risk of torture or death. In a 6-3 decision, the Republican-stacked Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration can restart swift deportations to countries that aren't even the migrants' homeland. That means someone from Cuba, Myanmar, or Vietnam can now be sent to places like South Sudan, where they face civil war, torture, and death. This decision overturns a lower court order that had required migrants be given a chance to argue they'd be in danger. The court didn't explain its reasoning, but all 3 liberal justices dissented, and Justice Sotomayor warned this ruling, quote, exposes thousands to the risk of torture or death. She went on to say this government feels unconstrained by law, free to deport anyone, anywhere, without notice or a chance to be heard. This isn't just about immigration, it's about human rights and judicial accountability. When Trump's own appointees, backed by other GOP judges, greenlight this deportation agenda, the conflict of interest is the point. Share this, speak up. This is what authoritarianism looks like. And don't forget to follow for all the news you need to hear.
This is not just about immigration, it's just about human rights. It's just about how we treat people. Okay, I know the Trump administration, he won the male Latino vote, okay, by big numbers, okay, so I guess FA is off, okay, but not all of us voted for him. And the situation with how they just, you know, violating human rights is just terrible. It's just terrible. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my videos. Thank you.